I want you to think the last 5 years of your life, 10 years even. How many diets have you been on? And now, all those diets you've been on, how many of them got you to the place you wanted to be weight-wise? And also, how much of that weight did you keep off? That's the thing. I personally hate diets. Diets don't work. They have never worked. A diet is something we begin, we lose the weight, we stop, and guess what? All the weight comes back yet again. This is where the boring basics are vital. It's not about chasing the next fad diet, the next miracle pill, the next best thing since sliced bread. It's about focusing on the boring basics. And you know what? The boring basics are the things that get us the results we want, because they're not the hardest thing under the sun. They don't deprive us. They're sustainable. And over time, the weight comes off and it stays off. Let's start focusing on the basics. And what are the basics then? That's what I want to unpack with you, so you can start thinking about applying these basics to your own diet. Before I explain them to you, what I want you to think about with these basics, they need to become you. They need to become the new normal. It's not about changing 100 things in 1 week. It's about changing one thing every week or two, mastering that, and then adding one of the next basics. And over time, we get better and better and better. In order to lose the weight, a lot of times it's the easy part. Keeping the weight off is the hard part. These basics need to become your new normal. They need to become your identity of how you live with food, how you eat, and how you think about food. So today I'll give you the first 4 basics out of 10. This will be part 1. The first 4 basics is enough for you to start thinking about the 4 things that's going to get you the most results. And let's dive in. The first basic, it's not glamorous. It is eat slow. We are so good at mindlessly scoffing down our plate of food in 10 minutes, 15 minutes max. We're still not satiated. We go for seconds, and 30 minutes later, we sit there. You know what? I had too much to eat. Your body takes 25 to 30 minutes to recognize how much food we consume. So start paying attention at how fast you are eating, mindlessly scoffing down your food. Tip here, pick up your knife and fork, put your food in your mouth, put your knife and fork down, chew. Start aiming for 25 minutes plus per meal. And you'll be surprised how much more satiated you start feeling. Eating slow is one of the most important boring basics you need to master. The second one, lean proteins with each meal. When we are trying to lose weight, protein is the most important thing to focus on. In order to lose weight, we need to be in energy deficit. Now, with energy deficit, we also have a higher hunger. And hunger is not a comfortable state for many of us. Every meal, we should aim for 30 to 40 grams of protein. That might be 100 gram chicken breast, 120 grams of lean beef, or something like that. A tin of tuna. When it comes to eggs, that's around 4 to 5 eggs, which is a lot. So start focusing rather on lean proteins. And why is that important? Protein is the most satiating macronutrient there is. It keeps us fuller for longer, it satiates us, and it's also very difficult for the body to break down protein. If we consume 100 calories of protein, we can only utilize around 75 to 80% of that protein. That extra 20-25 calories is used to literally break down protein. That's why protein is the most important thing to focus on, especially your first meal of the day, and then having protein with each meal. It will keep you satiated, fuller for longer, and keep the hunger at bay. The third boring basic is smart carbs. Carbohydrates shouldn't be a void. Carbohydrates must be made the right choices though. And the right choices for carbs will energize us, give us enough fiber for a healthy gut, and also build volume in a meal are things like legumes, whole grains, potatoes, sweet potato, tubers, whole grains. If you can see what the carb was, you know you're on the right path. The more processed a carb becomes, the more energy per gram there is, which makes it easier to eat more energy than we need. Third boring basic, as I said now, mastering better carb choices. There's many options. I'll drop a link down below for proteins and for carbs, the best places to get them. And the fourth boring basics, veggie up your plate. If you take a plate of food, if half that plate of food is vegetables, That will increase the size of your meal and also low energy, vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients, and tons of fiber yet again. And by doing that, we're increasing the stretch on the stomach with our meal. We feel more satiated. We also eat with our eyes. If we see a nice big plate of food, already we think, you know what, this is a good size plate of food. And this is where veggies are amazing. And when it comes to veggies, eat the rainbow. The more colored veggies we can get, the healthier the body will be. Fresh or frozen, honestly, it doesn't matter. 90% of my veggies come from frozen. There's nothing wrong with frozen veggies. They are just as good as fresh. Upside of frozen veggies, convenience. A lot of times we have busy days, schedules, running around. I've got 2 toddlers myself. I don't have the energy to cut up veggies every single day. Frozen is easy and convenient. On this, think of a plate of food. What I'm going to leave you with today, with these 4 basics. Think of a plate of food. Now, half that plate being vegetables, 30% being lean proteins, 20% being smart carbohydrates. If that is 2 to 3 of your meals per day, you are winning at this game. If we focus on that composition of a meal, it's sustainable and it's doable for most of us. Now add eating slow on top of that. If that's the only thing you focus on for 30 days, I guarantee you will be shocked by the results you get. These 4 basics is what I call phase 1 of changing your lifestyle. They are the 4 basics that gives you 80% of the results if you focus on them, doing them consistently, and creating them as the basic foundation of who you are, what you think about food, and how you live with food. The basics work. They have always worked. Stop chasing the next fad diet and stop overcomplicating things. I'm going to ask you a favor today. I would really appreciate a thumbs up or a subscribe, and share this with a friend that might benefit from this video. And as always, be 1% better today than you were yesterday.